So hey besties, one of my favorite things to have is some candied yams around the holiday times. And you know them candied yams have to touch the macaroni and cheese when you eat it, unless you ain't doing it right. So let's go ahead and get right into it, y'all. So first we're going to start off with some sweet potatoes, and we're going to go ahead and clean off our sweet potatoes real good. And then after that, I'm going to peel them. After I get my sweet potatoes peeled, we're going to go ahead and start cutting up our sweet potatoes. And I like to cut mine really thick because we're going to put it in the oven, and we don't want it to break down and turn into sweet potato mashed potatoes. So we want to make sure that we cut it thick so that when it starts to cook, it still holds its shape. It's sort of like the same thing when you're doing a potato salad. You want to make sure your potatoes are thick so when it does start to cook, it doesn't turn into a whole big bowl of mush. Now, cutting these sweet potatoes is no joke, y'all. Sweet potatoes is one of the hardest veggies that I have cut. I don't know about anybody else, but to me, you got to put your elbow into it. So after I got all my sweet potatoes cut and I put it in a pan, I'll go ahead and start melting 2 sticks of unsalted butter. Once my sticks of butter are halfway melted, I'm going to go ahead and add in some brown sugar. And you want to make sure that you're keeping your fire nice and low because you don't want to burn your sugar and you don't want to burn your butter. And butter is something that burns easily. After we get our brown sugar in there, we're going to go on ahead, add some white sugar, and then we're going to go ahead and put some allspice in there. Now that we got our sweet potato mixture ready, we're going to go ahead and pour it right on top of all those sweet potatoes that we have, and then we're going to go ahead and give it a good mix. We want to make sure that all of our sweet potatoes is covered with that sauce so it can absorb the flavors and it can get all the sweetness that it needs, because it ain't candied yams unless they are sweet. So now we're going to give it a good mix before we put it in the oven. Make sure everything is evenly coated. Now while you're preparing your sweet potatoes to go inside of the oven, you want to go ahead and cut your oven on and start preheating it so that way when they are ready you can go ahead and just put it in the oven. Now this is how it looks, just making sure I get all that sauce on top of everything. I want everything to be flavorful. I want everything to be covered. We're going to bake this in the oven for about, I would say, an hour to an hour and a half because the potatoes are really thick. After my potatoes are done, this is how they came out. Now you can add marshmallows, but there's this big debate in my house about who likes marshmallows and who doesn't, so I don't add any marshmallows. I just go ahead and give it a good mix. You can see those potatoes soaked up all that flavor nicely, and it also starting to thicken. You go ahead and put it on your plate because dinner is served, y'all. Go ahead and subscribe if you love these videos. Don't forget to give me a like, leave me a comment in the comment section, or share this out. Bye guys.